Welcome to this part in the series of creating a custom map for a follow-up series that I intend to make where I build a city, a major city that places all the key elements and buildings. Now, we've reached a point where we're going to have to take on one of the bigger challenges of making a custom map, and that's rivers and water dynamics. Now, water dynamics in Cities Skylines is realistic, but the water is quite viscous, so it doesn't flow quite naturally. And another element which I'm going to discuss in this part is dams. Love them or hate them, they are one of the most difficult elements within City Skylines to use, to place. And to be honest, I've done some practice on this map and a couple of other maps, and I have the greatest respect for anyone who can build a dam that on a custom map, because finding a location and getting a dam that works is quite a challenge, and I'm not kidding, because this is my second attempt at actually formally recording this, and I actually built a dam or a dam site. We went over to the gameplay and it generated about 16 megawatts of power. So it's going to be challenging as this is. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not going to be trying to build an ultra powerful dam. What I just want is a dam that works. Say I could be happy with a dam that generates a reasonable amount of power that makes it representative and illustrate the point. Now, so let's get down to the nitty gritty of it. Now, I've got a problem to start with, in the sense if I use the levels tool, you see I've got a low riverbank there, and we've got here. So, and the idea is that the river will come down here, round in a loop here. There's a kind of natural canyon there, and come down and connect to this river here. Now, I don't want it to be too straight, but at the same time I don't want it winding too much. And the part of the problem I've got is that here I've got a natural, or a saddle, caused by this part of the map from the one of the terrain maps joining this. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start with doing a little bit of landscaping. So what we're going to do is take the shape tool, or shift tool as they call it. I'm not sure why they call it a shift tool. And we're just going to start bringing up here. When you use the shift tool, resist the temptation to go strong, or build it up gently. Because if you go really strong, you'll see you get these ridge lines start to build up, and if you get very strong, they tend to get deep, which means they're. One way of breaking up the ridge lines is to use this tool here. So we're just going to, as I say, what I'm going to be looking to do is build this up here, just across here, because we need the height for this channel here. So I'm just going to come out here, build up a bit there, and round here, and back to this brush. Maybe this brush, this is a bit more. And as I say, we're just going to keep bringing up here. The idea is to create a canyon or a location, so the dam, so we can put a dam somewhere about there, I would think, because I don't want it to intrude too much on the map or the playable area. So I think we're just going to maybe just bring this out a bit here. So we're going to bring this in here. Keep just bringing it up gently. I think this is one of the situations where a little bit of patience works. So, and if you just come over here, I'm starting to get the height. I'm looking, as I say, I'm not looking to build a massive dam. I just want something that I can use for demonstration purposes. So we'll just, sometimes you can shape better with just a single click like that. Just check the height again. 131, still a, maybe we'll just start to, I mean it's gonna take quite a lot to shape this in. You can see I've got a bit of a ridge line growing there, so we'll just, maybe we'll just take this tool here, and I say this if you have a low strength with the level tool and you take a height, it doesn't quite, it doesn't give you a dead flat area. It gives you a flattish area. So we're just going to go back to this tool here. It's going to bring this area up a bit. You see I just went a little bit over the top there, but we can live with that. And so I'm just going to just make it a little bit interesting. Maybe just stroke this out a little bit more. I want, it's going to be a gorge, so we'll just, maybe the tool's a bit still a bit too strong. Maybe I need to reduce the brush size a bit. Just come out here like that. Up here we've got a little bit of a problem here, so I'm just going to just stroke through here a bit, and what I'm going to do is just bring this, oops, oh I don't know, that will work, and then I can just come over here with this, fill that area in there. Maybe we'll just spur that in there like that, because at the end of the day this is going to be right up on the edge of the map. If you look back down from here, yeah, it's going to be quite difficult to see this major feature here, so I think that's probably enough to get us started. We've got to 124, maybe we need to get a bit higher. I'm looking for, say, a map. Actually, let's strike it now, so we're just going to go here, bump the brush size up, keep that there. And we're looking to build a dam around here. 153, that's probably a bit too high. Oh, let's do it manually, others will be here all day. I'm looking to have a dam of about 130, so let's, and we're just going to strike across there. So you can say that's going to be the dam site. And as you can see straight away, we've got problems over here, in the sense that this is still a little bit too low. We'll just increase the brush size. Not going to worry too much about the backgrounds at the moment, because we're going to have to work all this area in once we've got the river up and running. So we're just going to strike across here. Like this. Maybe just cut this through here. Now, I think that's enough for the moment, and what we're going to do now is take the brush size down to about, I think it's about 130, because this is where we're going to start marking out the river. I think that fits in here. Yep, then I want a pretty strong brush size, and I'm just going to come down here and just trim this river back here, because it's maybe the size of Southampton Water, but to be honest it's probably not going, it's probably a bit too narrow. Bearing in mind that to have a good successful dam we're going to have a pretty strong current. So we're just going to cut this back, make this maybe not quite so, but maybe I shouldn't have done this quite so curvy. Now I'm gonna kind of leave that point there. Now this height is about 142, maybe it's a little bit too high, and the problem we've got now is we've got an embankment here of about 69, 94, 94. We've brought the whole area up. Let's see what it's here, 73. I think what we're looking at is, say, maybe something around the 60s. So let's just change this, make this into, say, I mean this is a random guess, so don't think there's any, don't assume that there's any kind of magic formula that I'm using here. This is going to be very much trial and error. Now while I'm doing this, I think I will talk a bit now. Dams are, good dams are based on height and flow. So to get a good working dam we need to have enough height behind the water of the dam to make it, oops, don't want that. Talking and drawing can sometimes be a little bit inconclusive. Yeah, so you need height, and just do this while I'm right, I'm just gonna stop there. Yeah, you need height and flow to make a dam work. That's why the most powerful dams are in quite narrow gorges to keep the flow up and the height. I think that's there. I mean, we're probably going to have to raise this bed up a little bit, because this is quite low still, 51, 61, 71. We're probably going to have to do something like that. Now what I'm going to do now is come down here. As I say, what I'm just doing at the moment is looking to capture the flow. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a point here. If you've used this slope tool, what you do is you right click to get a height there, and then you come down here and you kind of left click, sorry, and you just kind of come out like that. I'm kind of looking to bring the kind of come down through here. So what I'm gonna do is it's gonna just cut through there like that. It's got a bit wonky there, but we can smooth that in. What I'm interested in at the moment is just laying this section of river out. Now the slope tool, you can see here, this is 48, that's 60, so what we're going to do is right strike there and go. I say what I'm after at the moment is a kind of river in principle. It's probably a bit wibbly wobbly windy, but so we've got this here. Now, what I do now is come up here, and this height here is 108, and this is 142. I think maybe that is too high. I think 142's way too high for a dam. Let's take it down to say about 130. Just create a kind of flat area here. I know it's artificial. I can see some of you guys saying, well, it doesn't look natural, but at the end of the day, a map has to be playable, and that's the important thing. There's no point pretending that you can have a map that is geographically accurate or something like that. Now, what I want is, if I just throw up a marker there, a kind of outside dam you could call it, there. These markers I'm just putting in so I get an idea of the height of the dam, because when you place a dam you've got to remember that there has to be enough flow coming down to what would be the height of the dam. So there's no point building something up that's, so you say for example, which is the part of the mistake I made when I did the first one, is I had a nice big level lake here, which a real life dam would use, but to be honest, it doesn't work in Cities Skylines. So this is 130. So really and truthfully, to have a head of water, this needs to come up to say, that's 155. So this really needs to come up to about 177. This is pure guesswork. There's nothing scientific about it. So that's 177. Oh, maybe let's go a bit higher. Let's go to 210. So that, you could say that's the top layer of the lake. Now, I'm probably quite happy with this. No, maybe we'll just bring this forward, say I have 130 there. What I'm looking for is for the river to come down, have a waterfall maybe about there, so there's like a very short fill up lake here. So, and what we're probably looking at, that's 130, so 131. I think probably the best way now is to come the opposite way. This is going to be my base lake, so what I'm going to do now is come here, drop the brush strength down a bit, increase the size, come here, and we're just going to, oops, I didn't want that mound there, and we're just going to bring up this part of the lake here, and obviously we're going to raise this area here. Maybe just fill in this bit here. Keep raising this area. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but I think we'll get there. And obviously we want this. I say we don't want a massive lake up here, so just keep dropping in this area here, filling this in. Okay. Might as well work on a little bit down here, because this is I'm just going to bring this area up. I mean, it's all going to have to be smoothed in. We're now going to go back to this tool. Take a height. So we've got a height of about 210. So I'm just going to bring the brush strength right up. And we're just going to come through here with the lake, kind of a lake bed here. Just to fill it through here. And this, you could say this is going to be the top reservoir lake that will supply the initial flow. So we're just going to cut in here like that. Probably the best way here will be to come here. Just, oops, don't want that. I'll just bring this up. Sometimes, if you see the saw there, if you get deep, like here, you've got a deep gully. If you keep doing this, it will see where it forms a crack. So, if you take this and take this brush and use the level tool, it will flatten things off a bit, and then when you come back to this one, you can raise the riverbed up again like this. So it's all going to have to be smoothed over considerably. So what we're going to do here is just come back to this tool, bring the river bed over like that a bit. This is almost therapeutic doing this, guys. So, and what I'm going to do now is I want a level. That's 210. That's 129. I want a level around 1, and this is 130. So what I'm looking for is something around, that's 210. So let's go somewhere around, say 180. No, 190. Again, there's nothing magic about this. And we're just going to cut in there. So we got a kind of mini waterfall flow out here, and so, and now we've got another height of say 146. So what I'm going to do is cut across here about 146. Now this is where this tool's going to come in useful, because what we're going to do now is just create a graduated river up through here like that, and then we're going to do another one there, and we're just going to, it looks a bit strange at the moment, but just widen this out a bit, fill it in. I mean, as long as there's some kind of graduated slope, it's not worth worrying about. It's not worth worrying about the finer, the finer points of it all. That's 148, so we're just going to stroke through here. Just fill it in. We're going to bring the edges in, so don't worry. Just stroke that there. The idea is to create a kind of upper lake. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfectly dead flat. So, and what we're going to do now, obviously we've lost the shape and character of the river, so what we're going to do now is go there, bring the brush out, and we're just going to kind of bring this up here. Be nice to be able to rotate this brush, to be honest. And again, we're just going to flip this through here. Now got to be aware that in the process of just reduce the size down a little bit, making these type of rivers where you've got a specific purpose or objective, it's going to be a lot of trial and error. Water dynamics are, how can you say, some of the more challenging aspects of the game, in the sense that you have pressure waves which build up due to resistance. So this is going to be a long process, but what I want to do in this part is just lay out the foundation of the river and what we're going to be trying to do. Right, so I'm going to go back to this brush, and what I'm going to do now is, that's 130, that's 130. Maybe we've come a little bit too low here, so I think what we're going to do is come down to about, that's 148. So I think what we're going to do is bring this up a little bit. Again, we've kind of affected this part of the river, and we maybe just need to bring this up a bit. And what we're going to do now is take this tool again, go back to here, bring the strength up a little bit. That's 147 and that's 130, so maybe that's 147. Let's make that say 140, so we've got a kind of small dam, and what we're going to do is just kind of watch that in there. So there's a, see the slight depression there, we'll bring that in there, then we're going to click this area here, and then what we're going to do then is bring this through here again, just watching out this area here, maybe knocking the brush size down a bit. So I want pretty steep sides to this canyon. Again, we're going to have to bring this area out. Quick little hot tip here, when you're cutting out these canyons, it's better to push in like this and level and then bring the banks out. If you do something like this and leave a gap like that, what happens is when you use this shift tool, it just emphasizes that gap. So it pays to kind of level it all out like this completely. You can see we've now got here, so we're just going to have to push right in here, fill in this area. Oh, maybe we should have a little lake, should we? Or was that a bit too much over the top? Yeah, that's flowing down there. Maybe if we... yeah, maybe we can do that. Let's just... I don't want a massively deep lake. So, let's say... oops, didn't mean to do that. This is 131. That's 130. So maybe if we say we go to say 120, and we're just keep the strength up quite high, and maybe if we do something like this, I mean the water level's going to rise, so we're still going to have to let's make it a little bit more artistic. We're going to have to bring up the bank here, so we'll just push this down a little bit like this, and we don't need to cut right all the way across there because we're going to bring that bank out. So we just come here and that will come there. I say this is 130, this is 147, so maybe we'll push this up to say 155, and we'll just bring this out a little bit higher here, and maybe we'll just push this back up here and retake this slope tool. That's 185, that's 149. Maybe we'll just strike about 1888 and we'll pick up here and push through here. I mean, this is going to be a long process of trial and error. So, yeah, if you guys get bored, I can understand, because it's not the most exciting stuff. So we've got that built in there, and as I say, what we're going to do now is, I think what I'm going to do now is, for a little while I'm going to time lapse it. I think you've got the idea of where I'm coming from, so I think we're going to time lapse it a bit now, just to while I kind of fill in this area here. So see you in a minute. Now, welcome back. You can see we've now leveled through most of it. We've got a bit more work to do, but what I want to do now is just talk about this top part here. Now, if I put a water spawner in roughly about here, what will happen is a lot of the water will actually run off the map. Plus, having a water spawner on something that's totally flat can be a bit of a problem. So what I'm going to do is kind of create a location for the water spawner. So what we're going to do is go there. Brush strength is really large, and just go boom like that. And what we're going to do is create, it's a kind of, the way you can look at it is a lake within a lake. So that's where the water spawner is going to go. And now you've got to remember, water spawners act as sinks and sources. So what we're going to do now is drop the brush size to minimum, maximum strength, and if I put a water spawner there, what will happen is the water will kind of slosh up here and run off the map. So what I'm going to do now is just create this across the back edge here, which is a kind of dam to make sure that all the flow will run downhill. Now, probably still need to do a little bit of work on this area, so we're just going to come here and just pick this area up a bit, maybe stroke in this area a little bit. So that's the top section work. Now, to be honest, at the moment I'm not too worried about the bottom section, but one thing I do need to do is make sure that That's 58. That's 45. That's 35. So what I do need to do is make sure that there is a regional directional flow. Probably need to take this up a little bit. So that's only 60, that's 130. So I think we need to take this up to, say, about, no, maybe 80. Let's take this up to about 80. And we're just going to cut into the dam there. Now this is the location of the dam, so I'm just going to use this tool here, slope tool again, and we're just going to start here and just cut through, because obviously where I've been landscaping the edges, the waters, the bottom's raised, you need a good gradient here. So that's going at 63, that's 59. This is 39, so what we're going to do now, and the other thing you need is to make sure the water flows away. So we're going to start here, maybe drop the brush size down a bit, about 127. We're just going to cut through here. I mean, it's going to have to be kind of fully integrated and sculpt in, but there's no point spending a lot of time, and we'll just do that. That should take the water away. Now comes the fun bit. What we're going to do now is get the water spawner, click a water spawner. I'm going to give it quite a lot of juice, and what we're going to do is drop the water spawner in, and we're going to lift it up. I mean, you can go up. Now the height is quite important, and if you actually look at that, you can see the height. The height kind of defines the thrust of the flow. If it's not, oh bugger, we'll just maybe take it a bit higher. Maybe this lake needs to come down a little bit. So I'm not totally, sorry, didn't mean to do that. So we're just gonna, that's 218, that's 212. I think what we're gonna do is, that's 150. I'm gonna take this all the way out, to be honest. I'm not sure why because the height of the water spawner defines the strength of the flow, because what is important to remember that water spawners act as a sink and a source. So if you have only a little bit of gain, you don't get much flow. So maybe if I sculpt this lake out nice and big, it doesn't have to be totally flat. We've got the water spawner there, and what I'm going to do is reset the sea level to 37, push it on here, and what you will see, or we should see, you can see the water's starting to grow. The sea's come in here. You can see the sea is sloshed in quite a long way inland. I'm quite happy with that at the moment, because if you want to guarantee that your water pumps will be working, although I presume in the late game it will come here, and you can see, I'm just going to bump the game speed up, otherwise we're going to be here forever. You can see that the water's piling up quite aggressively in the water spawner. See, if this had been really shallow, you wouldn't have a strong flow. Now this could be too strong. Now bear in mind, this is just a kind of first test to go. It takes a little while. Again, you've got to be patient with water. It takes a little while for it to slosh. You can see there's a bit of unevenness there, and what I'm going to do is, oh no, it's flowing quite quickly, so I think, and you will get these waves as things fill up, but what I'm interested mainly at the moment is just to see how quickly the water will settle down. And so I think what I would do now is I'll just kind of not time lapse it. I'll just let the video run, and we'll come back once the water's worked its way all the way down the stream. We've got a bit of a problem there, so we're just going to have to. And I'll just work the edge here when it floods. So we'll be right back once we've got all the water in. Welcome back again. You can see that the water's sloshing about a bit now, but I think we've got enough of a flow to try things out. If I just show you this, we've got quite a strong flow through here, so I think we've got enough. I'm not going to worry too much about down here, because you can see the pressure wave. These are caused by resistance in the water. So I think we've got enough done at the moment now for me to take it to the next step, because what I want to do is actually prove that this is going to be working well, and to do that we're going to have to go and do some play testing just to see what this dam's going to be like and whether we're actually going to generate any power. So what we're going to do is we're going to save the game. So we're going to, or save the map, sorry. I'm going to save it to Waterside. Now, if you save a map, it's important. This name here is the name. The one I'm typing in now is the name that appears on the map. And I've also spotted my mistake, so I've got to cancel that straight away and resume the game, because I can't load this map, because what's actually happened is I've forgotten to put some roads in. So what we're going to do, it's quite easy to play test it. You just got to go boom, boom like that, and you see chirper up there says there's one incoming, one going. We can go back here now to save the map. Save it to Waterside. You need to call it Waterside here. Obviously what it will do is it will come up as new map in the loading thing. Now to get it into the game, you've got to publish it. It says here publish map to new game panel. So we're just going to save that. Overwrite, yeah, because that's my previous experiment. Right, I've done that. What I'm going to do now is I will see you in the game. Welcome to the game map, and obviously to play test I use infinite money there, because what we got to do is buy the tiles. If it will let me. Why won't it let me buy the tiles? Purchase. Yep. It can be a bit fiddly, and I'll just buy this one here. That's a pretty pattern. I could write my name on it. But sorry, it's a diversion. And you can see we've got water flowing through here. I'm not sure how fast it is. That was showing us fast, so that's good. And what we're going to do is we're just going to build a dam. You want to try and get this little power block thing in the center. We're just going to do that. Speed the game up, because obviously it's going to take a little while for the famous last word. It's going to take a little while, and it filled up very quickly. Oh no, it's stabilized a bit now, because I want this reservoir to fill up. I mean, we can adjust it. If it doesn't, we can move this waterfall back a bit. And you can see it's building up. What I just want to see is if the dam will work. You can see the water's draining away. So it's slowing up now. I think it takes a little while for it to build up, and of course the flow slows up. So we're just going to let it build up slowly. I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of cut this bit out because I'm not sure how long it's going to take for it to fill up. Welcome back. You can just see the dam is opening up and getting some flow now. Now you've got to be a little bit careful with these dams because they do take a little while to settle down. 192. I mean, if 192, 200, if it settles down around there, I'm going to be happy because, as I say, the idea of this exercise is not to create a mega dam that generates lots and lots of power. It's just to be able to build a dam that looks successful. Maybe the water here. So just have a quick look at the flow. The flow's slowed up a bit, but it's got quite a strong flow coming out. So it seems to have settled down around 192. It could have something to do with the speed that the water's flowing away from here. Maybe I need a bit more of a gradient on this side of the map. Maybe I need a kind of mini waterfall stroke step here, so the water flows out and flows away, because we've got a little bit of a backup lake here. So it's 160. It's not brilliant. I mean, maybe we could raise the level of the dam a little bit. Is it important? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's working. And you can hear the noise as well. Look. That's cool. 160, 144. As I say, the idea is not to create something that's absolutely really mega. Maybe we can lift it a little bit. The flow does fluctuate according to the lake. I mean, we can probably fine tune it in a little bit, but I think we've got the main structure here. Now I'm aware that I've probably kind of rambled on a lot here, and you guys are probably looking at this and thinking, God, this is goddamn awful. But I think we've got everything working in principle. We've obviously got, you can see the water sloshing around here. The pressure waves, maybe if we get rid of the pressure waves, speed this flow up away from here a bit. Yeah, you can see a horrible pressure wave there. This is due to the viscous nature of the water, and that's going to be an issue, but we'll just have to see if we can deal with that. But I think we've got the principal sound is probably 208, 224. I mean, it does take a little while for these dams to settle down, so we've got the river in principle in the dam. There's a lot of tidying up to do. So what I'm going to do now, this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you've enjoyed the episode and it's been useful, and you can get a feeling for how you make these rivers and dams work. Now in the next part, we're going to be working on the other rivers over here, which are probably a little bit more straightforward, to get the river system finished, so that we can then start the process of really having a buildable terrain, because this is awful. And what I will do off camera is work on this, tune it up a bit more, probably tidy the river up a little bit, because obviously this is needs something that a little bit needs to be desired, to be honest. We've obviously got an issue here, but I'll do all that off camera because it's going to take a long time. Just stop the game, because pause the game because we've gone into the dark. And I say this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you've enjoyed the episode and hope it's been useful and you get a feeling for where things are going. So like and subscribe, and until the next time, enjoy your gaming.